I started off knowing absolutely nothing about a strategy Quant X, and in 7 days I was able to master this software. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Lisa, a full-time algorithmic trader trading on Darwinex Gold with a public record that anyone can look up at any time. I've known about strategy Quant for a few months now, but I've never actually done any research on them. I've never watched a single video on them. So the only thing I know is that from their front page, they say, create your own algo strategies without programming. That's the extent of my knowledge. This is what I want to achieve with the software. I want to be able to generate expert advisors using 10 years of data, using Monte Carlo analysis, using out of sample, and then I want to simulate live trading for 2 months. Because as a full-time algorithmic trader, this is my current process, to simulate live trading all fully automatically, and then I take the exact process and I repeat it for my live trading. And can strategy Quant do this fully automatically? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. On day 1 of my journey, I set out to learn about what exactly is strategy Quant, what it can do. I want to install it and I want to try to download some data. Looks like they have a YouTube channel with a total of 148 videos. I don't want to be watching 148 videos, so let's see what else there is on this channel. The first thing that caught my eye was this strategy Quant introductory course, which consists of 11 videos, and that was uploaded 4 years ago. So the first thing I did was watched all these videos, which took about just over 1 hour. After 1 hour of watching videos, I was a little bit brain dead. So I jumped back onto their website and it looks like they have a 14-day free trial. So I went and downloaded that and installed it on my computer. At this point, I was still not that confident in using the software, so I found this playlist called Algorithmic Trading Full Course #NoCode, which seems quite interesting. So I watched about 5 videos before I turned brain dead. So before I turned my PC off for the day, I brought up a strategy Quant to have a look around, and I can see this function here called Data Manager, and I can see that they have Desktop copy data here totally for free. So I kicked off a data load of M1, which stands for 1 minute data from Desktop copy, which is absolutely free and works even with the 14-day free trial period. So I went and kicked off the data download and went off to bed. I did notice that they also have Darwinex ticker data, and I did try to download it. Unfortunately, that is not available in the free 14-day trial period. If you're not familiar with Darwinex, they are both a broker and a platform that allows traders to earn money from their trading. So they are a regulated broker offering both MT4 and MT5, and the gold standard when it comes to having an independently verified track record. Now, the other platforms like my FX Book and FX Blue can both be easily manipulated, and even videos of screenshots of broker statements and prop firm payouts can also be easily manipulated. Darwinex is the only platform where you can show off your track record to potential investors, where it is truly independently verified. And that's why Strategy Quant has a dedicated button just for Darwinex tick data, so you can optimize your strategy for their broker. I'm personally trading on Darwinex myself, and I've received 8 allocations from Darwinex so far, totaling 330,000 euros. And I've made it to Darwinex Gold, an elite group of the top 3% of traders. If you're serious about your trading and want to be in it for the long haul, then I'll have a link below where you can get a discount on the Darwinex Zero subscription. Day 2 and day 3, we are doing exactly the same thing, watching more videos and learning more about the builder. I was continuing watching the videos from this playlist here up to about video number 15, where I got bored and stopped watching. While I was watching the videos, I was trying to follow along on a separate screen. I had Strategy Quant up and I had the builder function, which is the key to all this. And what I did is I went through every single field, every single tick box, and every single configuration to see if I could understand what it did. I do want to point out a few things which I thought was pretty cool. So in the data tab, you can see there's a drop down box here called engines. You can pick MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, and a whole bunch of other engines, which I haven't seen before in other platforms. Obviously, you can set the symbol, the time frame, the start and end time that you want the data to be used to generate expert advisors. And down here I thought was really cool. So instead of the usual out of sample, for example, 80% of data used to generate data and 20% as out of sample, they've got a variety of other options. You've got 50, 20, 30, 30, 20, 50, and then this complex in-out function, which I need to spend some more time getting my head around what that does. But it's really good to see that there's a variety of different options to minimize the risk of over optimization. And speaking of optimizations, if you take a look at the cross checks, which is a robustness checks, you can see they've got a lot of different options. Here you can see just the front screens. You can see 9 different options, but when you go in each and every single one of these settings, it blows up to like 20, 30 more different options. So they have a lot of configurations here, all designed to prevent over optimization. Day 4, now we're getting to the really juicy parts. So now I've watched a few videos. I have a brief understanding of what strategy Quant can do. I understand briefly what the functions in a builder can do. Now what I want to achieve on day 4 is trying to automate my process of using out of sample, generated expert advisors. Let's see what we can achieve in one day. At the end of day 4, I was amazed and blown away at how much I was able to achieve without using a single line of code. So take a look here. So I am in custom projects, and I've got a series of 6 steps here. And the first step is clear data banks. So basically, strategy Quant operates in data banks, which is like a database. So for each step, you can store your generated expert advisors in a data bank. And if you look down below, you can see step 1, where I've got generated expert advisors, and then those get moved and filtered to step 2, and then those get moved and filtered again to step 3. So at step 1, we are just emptying out our database to make sure we have a clean slate for the generation process. And then we move to step 2. So in step 2, here we are generating our strategies. Currently for this build, I have included out of sample and Monte Carlo settings in step 2, just to see how it goes. So the output of step 2 goes into this data bank right here. But since I don't want to use all the 200, 300 strategies, I just want one. So that's what step 3 does. It just grabs one strategy for me, which gets fed into step 4. And in step 4, here I am simulating live trading. And the output of step 4 goes into my data bank number 3, simulated trading. And from there, step 5 and step 6 get executed. And what those does is it grabs whatever strategies I have in my data bank, and it spits out an MQL4 5 and MQL5 file, a PDF of the report of all my trades, and an Excel spreadsheet of every single trade, when it entered, when it exited. It is amazing and fully automated. At this point here, I haven't done any coding at all. Each step has been pretty easy to figure out and pretty self-explanatory. Now we're moving into day 5, 6, and 7, full automation. Up to this point, I haven't used any code at all. And you can see previously in my previous example, I created one workflow, step 1 to step 6, which was one currency, one time frame, one simulation, which is great. And if you didn't have any coding skills, you can cut and paste all that and just duplicate it and create a long list of instructions, but I didn't want to do that. I want to go down the coding path. So I just want my 6 steps, and then I want to create a loop that will automatically refresh and update the list of symbols for me. And this is what I've come up so far in days 5 and 6. Again, it looks very similar to the previous one with a few more steps. So starting off, we're still clearing our database. So we want a fresh slate when we start off with. And step 2 is update our data. So I want to automatically download the latest data, which is totally for free from Copy. Step 3 is new in this process. Here I am using a function called custom analysis, and this is where I put my code. So this I called set past 10 years. So what the code is, it does figures out what is today, and it goes back 10 years. That's all. So every day when I run this code, it will just use the last 10 years as valid data to generate expert advisors. The thing is, Strategy Quant uses Java, and I have not used Java in like 15 years when I was back in university learning it. I've never used it professionally, so I'm really rusty. But what is really good about Strategy Quant is that they have a lot of documentation. And I found this thing here called changing task config programmatically. This is exactly what I wanted to do. And they provided the code, and this is the exact code that I wanted. So all this code does is it changes one date. So they changed it to like 2022 or so, but I wanted it to be dynamic from whatever today is minus 10 years. So I had to add like 3 lines of code. The rest of it was pretty self-explanatory and really easy to use, even from someone who hasn't used Java in 15 years. At the end of day 5, I let my program run overnight, and I woke up in the morning to find this beautiful extract all done automatically for me. You can see I've got MQL4 code, I've got MQL5 code, and a little PDF that has the report of the strategies. Today is day 7, and I'm actually not doing anything today. All I did is grab those MQL4 files. I have added it to my MetaTrader platform, and you can see it's already placed one trade. So in 7 days, I have gone from knowing absolutely nothing about Strategy Quant, and now is day 7. I already have 26 strategies that have been generated totally automatically for me, ready for me to demo test. Even though I still have 7 days left of the 14-day free trial, I went and purchased Strategy Quant anyways. And I also asked their team if I could get a discount for my viewers. And they said, yes, here, have 10% off if you use the code LisaForex. Now that I have automated my expert advisor generation process, next I want to automate my simulated trading process, which is where I do my testing of any ideas that I have. Now, if you want to hear more about this idea generation and testing process, then watch this video right here about another tool that I use which follows the same process.